Sometimes it's someone who is full of themselves, and they're not Christ-centered. They're me-centered. I mean, and they made themselves into their own idol, and all they see is their own life.
All right, guys and gals, this is the Traditionalist 101, and we were actually supposed to have a podcast today, but unfortunately, Hoovy, my friend 186, he had a lot of things to do, so I'm gonna get on him. But I just wanted to make a real quick video since we are not able to do a podcast, but we will do a podcast this week. Probably this Thursday. If we could do one tomorrow, we'll send a notification out there for you all, so please stay tuned. So this topic is going to be about Stephen A. Smith and the problems that he's been having with several individuals. And, I believe that Stephen A. Smith is starting to have a huge problem, and he's not really seeing it. He's the common denominator. And to have so many problems with, a lot of guys in the past, and now with a lot of guys currently, shows that he needs to, look at himself and look in the mirror and ask himself, is it me? Am I the problem? Or he could stay prideful and say that, everything that he's been doing in his whole entire career has been right and has been good. But unfortunately, not a lot of people see that. And I also wanted to address a couple of things, because it seems like it seems like Stephen A., not only is he full of himself, not only has he been, really prideful, but I'm really starting to see that I don't really think he cares. I don't really think that he cares about that people are against him and, fans are against him. I believe at this point, as long as he has his money and as long as he's still working for ESPN, that, hey, everything is fine. Everything is fine and he has nothing to worry about. But I'm telling you, there's going to be several people that will check him. I'm actually surprised he hasn't got knocked out yet. Not to be, mean-spirited or anything, but he pissed a lot of people off. And at least from my knowledge, I haven't really seen anyone try to, pick a fight with him until recently with Stephon Marbury. And I believe Kwame Brown tried to do the same thing. But Stephon Marbury basically said that, we should go to a boxing ring and box, have a few rounds. But we already know Stephen A. is not going to do that. But let's take a look at the article real quick so I could show you all what I'm talking about here regarding to Stephon Marbury. So it basically says Stephon Marbury claps back at Stephen A. Smith comments on First Take regarding Netflix stock. So as of now, Brooklyn Nets all-star Kyrie Irving has elected not to get vaccinated, and we all know this. We all know that he's not interested in getting the vaccine, and rightfully so. I'm definitely not going to get it. Now, look, if you all feel like you should get the vaccine, go ahead and get it. I'm not going to, make any type of, claims. I'm not going to put any type of conspiracy theories, on this video. Nothing like that. If you have any questions, do your own research. Talk to a couple of doctors if you have any, and make a decision, based on that. But I did my research, and from the research that I have done, I feel I don't really need it. I think the antibodies that I have inside of me is doing their job. So I feel confident enough that if I do get COVID again, because I had COVID before, that my body will be well prepared for that virus. But let's continue on. And it has drawn a lot of pushback. Irving has received criticism from the NBA fans and media members, most notably Hollis Queens, Stephen A. Smith, the host of ESPN First Take. However, someone who supports Irving is NBA legend Stephon Marbury and takes a shot at Stephen A. Smith. Not really surprised by that. Not surprised at all. It's sad to hear Stephen A. Smith talk about Kyrie Irving the way how he's talking about him, calling him selfish. Let me stop right here. You see, the reason why I highlight this word selfish is in my podcast, I actually talked about how Stephen A. has the nerve, the audacity to mention, selfishness when he was the one that was being selfish in his own show. Keep in mind, like I said in my podcast, this guy had a new contract. He makes lots and lots of money. Obviously, is the face of ESPN, has been participating in, other shows, soap operas, commercials, and First Take remained number one along with Max Kellerman for 5 years. And with all of that, with all of the fame and all of the glory and money, he still did not reach satisfactory. He still didn't reach happiness. And because of that, he decided to get rid of Max Kellerman. He had the power. And it is very unfortunate that just because you couldn't get along with the guy, he still put that platform, that show, number one alongside with you. He stood by you the whole entire time, and you decided to get him demoted or fired. That was his reward because of you. Let's just keep it real, y'all. And the reason why I am so aggravated with this guy is I was on his side for years. And I ignored so many people that claimed that he was a snake. I did. And for what he did to Max Kellerman really, really pissed me off, because I guarantee every single one of you would really have so much disdain and hatred for your coworker if your coworker set you up to get fired or demoted. You know what I'm saying? If that were to happen to any of you or to a family member, that somebody else was responsible for getting that person fired or to get you fired, you would have nothing but disdain, and you would feel a certain type of way with that individual. I'm right about that. And so to see this on display, despite the fact that the show remained number one and you making all this money and you still didn't reach satisfactory and you wanted to get the guy fired, I don't like that, which is why I no longer support the show. I don't watch the show. And I really agree with Marbury when he mentioned that, hey, we should stop listening to Stephen A. We should stop listening to him. I mean, I kind of stopped watching First Take because I really don't like Molly. I think she ruins the flow of the debate. I believe that she always wants to be heard, and she's annoying. But what Stephen A did, that was the icing on the cake. And so I can no longer support that show. Can't support it. But let's continue on. This man has done so much stuff for human beings and giving back and trying to help so many different people of all different cultures, said Marbury. This is what happens when you have people like this guy who's animated, not realistic about what it is that he speaks and talks about. He played a little bit of basketball, but come on, seriously? You letting this guy talk to you about sports? This guy never got hit in a football game. He never swung a bat. And this is the person who they have speaking and talking about what's going on in sports. man, you need to defund his voice. There it is, where he said that we need to defund his voice. I'm already ahead of you, buddy. Way ahead of you. I really stopped watching the show. All I really watch now is Undisputed, a little bit of PTI. First things first, some NFL Live, but that's pretty much it. I think the best show of all time right now, the number one show, is the TNT with Charles Barkley, Kenny, Ernie, and Shaq. I believe that's the best show right now of all time. I have enough shows that could take up my time, and First Take is not one of them. So after Marbury comment hits the airwaves, it did not take long for Stephen A to respond. I'm not going to go off on Stephon Marbury, but I will say that Stephon Marbury has a problem with me since 2009 because we thought he was a bit bizarre when he was eating Vaseline. It literally on video. It's literally on video, like it was a bunch of cheeseburgers, like gobbling Vaseline, crying later, admitting he was depressed, said Smith. Stephon Marbury was somebody that was considered an incredible, tremendous talent, but who had leadership issues. And so it seemed more than apropos that he would come to the support of Kyrie Irving. I mean, this guy's pretty much, insulting, Stephon, Marbury. I don't really understand why he would bring up the whole Vaseline situation. I think it's just a way to, attack him so that people could think that Stephon Marbury is doing that's crazy. But let's continue on. Stephon Marbury had a problem with my voice. Then why? You use my voice prominently on your own documentary, The Kid Out of Coney Island, that was aired on Netflix. Go look at Stephon Marbury's documentary and see who is all over it. I really don't want to read any more of this stuff anymore. But let me read just a little bit to see if I could find what I wanted to talk about. Let's see. I never saw him or told anyone to get him. Actually, I didn't tell them who or who not to get. The question could be asked, did Stephon Marbury ask you to be on the doc, or did the producers ask? This part is not important. I guess that's it of the story, huh? That's it, huh? All right, that's it. So pretty much everyone, Stephon Marbury has been going back and forth with Stephen A. But one thing that really caught my eye was this thing here. This is the DM that Stephon Marbury had shared, and it's basically titled "What a Sucker Sounds Like." What a sucker sounds like. So Stephen A says, "My man, I responded to your video on my show this morning. Regardless of our disagreements and my willingness to stand up for myself, anytime you like to talk man to man, I'm here. Just let me know. We've known each other too long to be going at this once every few years like this. Again, I'm here. Let me know if you like to reach out. If you don't, I understand." And Marbury responds, "Leave Kyrie alone. That's all I have to say. He's a good brother. Help him. Don't tear this one down." Look, I honestly believe that Stephen A is being really, really fake. You see, he wants to talk trash about certain individuals in the NBA, but then wants to talk to them man to man in private after he insulted them on TV. No. That's not how you do it. He obviously had malice intent to talk trash about certain individuals, and then wants to go behind the curtains and say, hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. No, there's nothing to talk about. There's really nothing to talk about. You said what you said on national TV, and we have the right to respond and retaliate. And he's basically telling you to leave Kyrie alone. I want to address this one last thing. I mentioned on my podcast that I understand what the Nets are doing. They don't want anyone to work for them for part-time, and I get that. But if you are truly giving the man a choice to take something or not take something, that he has to inject something in his body that he's not comfortable doing, this is beyond basketball. This is the body, that we have to cherish. It's sacred. It's important. We are the images and likeness of God. This is the only body that we have. And because it's the only body that we have, we have to honor it and cherish it. And if Kyrie feels that taking the vaccine is not something that he wants to take, then he has the right to choose that. But don't punish him because that's the choice that he made. It's out of his control because it's a mandate in New York. That's what I said in my podcast. So it's out of his control. So because it's out of his control, he should be able to play road games. He should. It's not right that he has to get punished for this and lose money and constantly get criticized because he doesn't want to take the vaccine. And for Stephen A to talk all this smack about Kyrie Irving and talking all this smack about Stephon Marbury, he's the common denominator. He talked about Kwame Brown, he talked about Steven Jackson, he talked about Terrell Owens, he talked about Kyrie, and now he's talking about Stephon Marbury. Oh, and don't forget, he talked so much smack to Max on TV, disrespecting him on TV, and got the guy fired. The same guy who had constantly had to apologize had wanted to get somebody else fired. The same guy who never made an apology in ESPN because he did nothing right. He went by the books. Max Kellerman did. And yeah, he had some, bad takes, but everybody has bad takes. And Max Kellerman did his job, and he did his job well. He always brought logic into the debate. He always gave, really excellent examples and good points, whether if you disagree with it or not. And he gets fired for it. So I really am disgusted with Stephen A even more. This just solidifies that there's no reason for me to support him. And I truly hope that he gets exactly what he deserves. That he get what he deserves. I just don't see what's the point of supporting this guy. But he's going to continue to do what he does because it's been working for him for all these years. And if you all want to support him, that's fine. But unless people finally speak out and people actually go against him, he's going to continue to do what he does and continue to disrespect people by mispronouncing their names, by calling them names, and always act like he's the one who's right and they are the one who's wrong. That's just how it's going to be. And it's refreshing to see more and more people step up to him and calling him out from his BS. It's really good to see that. And I hope I see more of it because he can't be getting away with this anymore. Not like this. You need to show respect. If the guy does not want to take the vaccine, he has the right to not take the vaccine. Let his antibodies do their job. And that's really all I have to say. I don't want to keep talking about this for too long. It is mad late. But I'm going to make a couple more videos about this and, about Stephen A. Smith. But I really appreciate you all for watching. This is the Traditionalist 101 signing out. Have a good one.